Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the award winning recovery podcast, Get in the Herd, brought to you by the McShin Foundation. I am your host. Well, no. Today I am your co host, Nathan Mitchell. I am in the studio with a new co host to the show. D Dog over here, Darian. Oh God,
Sorry.
that's what's gonna happen this morning, this afternoon. Shoot,
Yeah, Nathan, it's 2 p.m.
it's 2 p.m. It's morning somewhere. So anyway, welcome, Darian. Thank you for bringing our guest today and bringing the topic. Our guest today is a two-time McShin alum, Tommy. I can't do it.
Tommy.
Tommy. Tommy G, who comes to us, and you'll know this as soon as he talks, from Maine. Welcome to the show, Tommy. I can't do it, man. I'm trying.
You're doing it all wrong, bud. It's Tommy.
There you go.
That ain't.
Yeah.
Come on, that's right.
It's close enough.
It's Tommy. It's like Pawmee.
Ah. Well, listen. So, hi, Deborah. So look, it's your show, young man. So, what would you like to talk to Tommy about today? What's the topic?
Our topic for today is going to be Why'd you do that? Our topic for today is Tommy. I just want to. I have a couple of questions for you,
Okay.
and I think I'm gonna do my best to ask open-ended questions because my grandma told me to do that last night.
Oh, you talked to Grandma about this beforehand? Huh?
Yeah, when I get nervous,
He
I
was
consult
nervous.
my grandmother.
Hey,
wait.
Tommy, can you do me a favor?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can you get that mic a little closer to your face?
Is that good?
That's way
Yeah.
better.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Got you.
Thank you.
We wanted you to be here. Well, wait a second. Shout out to Grandma.
Shout out Ann Black because I love you so much. You're my great grandmother, and you are to me the best person in the world. I love you. Can't wait to see you.
Hashtag Snickerdoodles.
Hashtag Snickerdoodles.
Sorry, back to you.
No question. All right, goodness. My first question, Tommy, is going to be, what was it like the first time you were here? Because this is only my first time being here, so I don't have, and this is also my first time in recovery, so I don't have, experience with any other treatment. And I know you said talked a little bit, and you said you had a little bit more experience than I did, so I just wanted to get your take on that.
The first time I was here was actually amazing. The people that I was introduced to when I first got here were real welcoming. They made me feel like this was the place to be. It was amazing, and the staff here did a wonderful job too. But amongst other things, the peers were definitely like the biggest asset to this place, in my opinion. It was great.
I like that. Because when I first got here, I had this guy welcome me. He was the third person I talked to. I talked to Joyce, then I talked to Zach, and then Nathan happened to be in the hallway. And Nathan actually I don't know if you remember this,
No.
but you gave me a big hug.
Did I?
Yeah, because I was looking sad like a puppy dog. And you gave me a big hug.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for puppy dogs.
You gave me a really big hug. But that's one of the things I like about this place the most is that everybody in here is just like me. Right? Like,
We are
We are-
currently
Oh,
now
there
we're
we are.
broadcasting.
yeah, there we go.
Connection is unstable.
We are not on Wi-Fi. We
Just
are
like us.
I was
hardwired
gonna
in.
say that.
Well, but we are on Wi-Fi. If that's
No, we are not,
But how is it saying that?
because that's StreamYard's default. It always tells me your Wi-Fi connection is unstable. And I'm like, well, my Wi-Fi on my computer is actually turned completely off.
Well, my recovery tells me that I need to find the default in me.
Ooh,
okay.
That's a deep one.
A little damn. Well, anyway, so you were shout out to Mimi. That's right. Go ahead. You were asking a question.
No, but I was just talking about I talk to a lot of guys who have like clinical treatment experience, and they talk about, the disconnect between a doctor or a nurse practitioner or whoever works in a clinical treatment center as opposed to being here, and like what the difference is. And they say that, being around people who are just like them makes everything easier because you know, I know not what you go through, but we have more similarities than we have differences, right?
Absolutely.
So my next question for you would be like, what are you doing different now than you did the first time? Like what's driving you this time is the best, guess best way to put this.
Well, as you know, I got a lot of legal issues going on.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a huge drive for me in itself, not the main reason. What I'm doing differently though is this time I'm actually participating like with my all. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like this is something not that I just need, but that I actually want. So that is helping me in the process. I didn't really I participated the last time I was here, don't get me wrong, and I did really well, but I just was more focused on getting home instead of being involved in my recovery. And this time I'm going to stay down here until I get my legal issues resolved. And that could be a while, but I'm not trying to go back home to Maine. And I'm not associating with old people that are from my area like I was the last time too.
Okay.
So that's also helping me focus more on my recovery and more on myself. I'm not worried about what's going on up there. I'm worried about what's going on down here with me.
Oh, okay. I like that too. Yeah, no, this is my first time in recovery, but it's not my first time hearing about recovery. So the entire time, like I was working with my CSAC, all I wanted to do was still hang out with that same people because I figured as long as I'm talking to him about my problems, I could still.
Wait, when you say CSAC, you might want to let's
Oh,
define that for the people listening.
a CSAC is a certified substance abuse counselor. So I worked for about a year and a half with this really great guy. I love you, Andrew. I hope you see this at some point. He was
Shout out to Andrew.
he was amazing. But no, my biggest thing is like, how do I just, you know, not hate myself? I didn't care about not like I wasn't gonna at that point. I didn't want to stop using. I just didn't want to like hate myself anymore. Like I was tired of not like walking past the mirror when I would go to the shower, and when I got out of the shower, walking past the mirror and not really caring about what I put on because I wasn't gonna look in the mirror because I didn't want to have to see myself. So I was working with my CSAC and still hanging around those same people like every night to the point to where like I started to sneak out of my house to hang out with those people and crazy insane thinking, right? Um
Sure is.
Jumped out my bedroom at my grandmother's house, was the window was 15 feet to the ground, and I used to jump out of that to go hang out with people.
You used to jump out of Mimi's house?
Yeah, I'd hang and then just pray to God that I didn't get hurt. But no, yeah, all the time. But I mean, it was my sick, disgusting thinking. Like, what am I going to do to get that next one? And unfortunately, I would put myself in harm's way all the time. Like, but, since I've been here, finding out what recovery is and not just like half assing it,
Hmm.
it has a much bigger meaning to me than just sobriety. Like, so I guess my next question to you is like, what does your recovery mean to you, and what is like your general scope of what is recovery?
Or may I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
Another way might be to ask, are you whole assing it?
Ah.
Or
Yes.
half-assing it.
No, I am 100% whole assing this attempt at my recovery.
I'm here
you
for
know.
comic relief, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I mean, recovery for me is learning. We'll say learning to love yourself is, that's a big one, dude. It's just, learning to love myself has been one of my biggest gifts, man. Because during active addiction, we don't really love anything, let alone ourselves.
Yeah.
But recovery, I'm trying to better my life. Just almost everything about me needs to be changed.
Right.
And recovery is how I'm gonna get that. The old way wasn't working.
Yeah.
So we gotta switch it up. We gotta do something different. I learned that the hard way, unfortunately. But the good news is I'm here,
Yeah. You made it
and
back.
I made it back. And I'm not in a casket, not
Yeah.
in the hospital, not in a jail cell. So just that alone has helped me tremendously. I really am whole assing it, as you would say. As you would say.
I
But
like
yeah.
to I like to say things that make Justice over there nod his head.
Why'd
Shake
you
his
do
head.
that?
Thanks, Nate. And
Justin, do you have any questions you want to ask?
You are the recovery coach.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's another
Yes, he
dynamic
is.
here. Justin is Tommy's recovery coach.
well, technically, we're finished.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sorry.
I haven't given you your star
Was.
yet, but you haven't been here long enough. So the last week that you're in, I'll give you your star.
Oh, cool! Can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be
To
amazing.
get to your little name tag.
Yeah.
I didn't get to wear a name tag when I was here. I probably should have.
We didn't have him back then.
Well,
No, we didn't. I remember when they came in.
then a certain someone might call me by my name.
You know, I have one that says staff from when we first got them way back in the day.
Well, it was funny because like last Sunday, you know, and don't get me wrong, I love Walter. He's an amazing human being. He is awesome.
I love conversation. Don't get me wrong. And
like, no. He's a good dude for real. Like he is a really good dude. And we've gotten real close, you know, over the past few months that you know we've been working together on with breaking the bondage of addiction. But he continuously calls me Justice, and like at first I was just like, no, it's Justin, and you know it kept being Justice, and I was like, at a certain point you just got to count your losses and move on. But it's funny because he calls me Justice when there's other people around, but when it's just me and him face to face, he calls me Justin. And I'm like, so you know my name. You actually do know my name.
He's running
But
game on you.
something happens. There's a disconnect somewhere. But it was funny because this past Sunday, you know, he does his you know, thanks for you know, because there's a couple people that are involved with breaking the bondage that actually, you know, do work for the service, and he thanks those people and everything. And I get a text mid-service after he finished thanking me. It's from Honesty, and she's like, is he calling you Justice? And I was like, he is every time. And she said, oh, okay. Just making sure. And I was like, yeah, it's a thing that's it's not going to stop. It's going to keep happening, and that's fine. Anyways, back to you, Nate.
he knows that I don't like to be called Nate, and I know that he doesn't like to be called Justice. So we prod at each other.
Actually don't mind being called Justice anymore. It's kind of it's
endearing.
It's become a thing.
Yeah.
It's become a thing, and I'm just like, hey, you know, whatever. You know,
you and Walter have. I know we've really gone off. I'm taking over here. You and Walter.
No, that's perfectly fine.
You and Walter have really bonded using this and you doing the breaking the bondage.
We've bonded incredible, and honestly, like that's the crazy thing about this whole recovery thing is like I'm friends with people that if it wasn't for the fact that we had this common ground, I'm friends with people that I would have never thought that I would ever be friends with. Like Walter and I have opposite personalities. Like we are on the polar opposite of pretty much everything. But we've got this one thing that we share Sunday mornings, and it's just, yeah, Nathan, you're right. I mean, we've made this like incredible bond, and like, you know, and you know you've bonded with somebody if like when they go or when you go, like you miss that person, you know. Well, seriously, like most people that we're friends with, we're acquaintances with. I mean, shit, when they get, you know, when they leave our lives, which most friends are only for a finite amount of time, you know. Like I don't know any of my so I've got one childhood friend that I still am friends with, this guy Eric. And of course I've known my girlfriend for like 20 some odd years now.
Very odd years.
Yeah. What did you say?
I said very odd years.
Very odd years?
You said 20 odd years. I said yes, very odd years.
Oh yeah.
Like the Very Odd Parents.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Shout out Teresa. Love you. By the way, we need to have our ladies' night, but that's another story.
She actually mentioned that this morning too.
Tell her I don't know anybody who will do the wax thing in my ears. And
the candle thing.
yeah, I don't have
Oh
anybody
my
in my life that
gosh.
would do that, and I don't trust you.
I'm going to give you her number
Yeah.
and give her your number so that y'all can, because I mean
Wax it up.
I don't mind like being the middleman, but like honestly, like
You'd prefer not to be, and that's okay. I would prefer that you weren't either.
work it out.
Work it out. Yeah, yeah.
Work it out, you know.
Well, it's so bringing this all back to Tommy, as it were.
Tommy.
Hey, say park the car in the parking lot.
I say my R's.
Sometimes.
Park the car in the parking lot.
Okay, park the car in the parking
Yeah,
lot.
no park in the car.
It's
No-
that
No
it's
park in the
Tommy.
car.
No park in the car.
Tommy.
Yeah, like I told
Tommy.
you, TAWMEE.
Tommy.
Tommy.
Pexatani Phil.
I thought it was Punxsutawney.
I don't know.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
TWOMMY.
It's the day.
Tommy.
It's the day after
Tommy.
Groundhog Day. It's been forever getting to this day.
Didn't that groundhog die before they could do the thing?
I don't know.
No,
I
he
read-
predicted 4 more weeks of winter.
He sure
think.
did.
I saw somewhere that one of the groundhogs, like something Mel, the groundhog died right before the
Well,
thing.
here's the thing. Groundhog's Day has been a thing for, I don't know, 100 years, maybe more, maybe a long time more. Who knows? Probably we've gone through a lot of groundhogs since then.
I'd agree.
Mhm.
I'm guessing. And this is hey, look, for those of you listening right now in a jail cell, this is actually what recovery is. When we're sitting around having fun, just shooting the shit, this is what we talk about.
Weird
Sometimes
stuff.
it's fun. Sometimes, most of the time, we're fun. Sometimes we get deep. You know, right before we got into this this conversation, excuse me, you know, we were having a pretty deep conversation in my office with the two guys here. You know, and I know that Justin was Tommy's recovery coach as well. So like yeah, we get into some deep stuff and we talk about deep dive stuff. You know, and we link to, you know, hopefully we link to therapy and other, you know, other medical services if necessary. But so much of recovery is about learning how to have fun, enjoy life, experience life, you know, not using. I mean, that's what recovery, I suppose, is for everybody, learning how to experience life without using. But having fun in recovery without using is kind of, it's still often foreign to me. You know, I sometimes forget what it's like to do certain things without the alcohol and the drugs in me. And you know,
I think we all do.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
and it's a challenge. You know, it's a challenge that we meet here at the McShin Foundation. By yeah, I mean, there's definitely times where I know boredom kicks in, and that's also life too. I mean, that's a reality of life. You know, there are going to be a lot of downtimes. You know, not every moment is going to be stimulated by the people around you. Not every moment other people are going to do things that stimulate your mind. You're going to have to learn how to get past the boredom. You know.
We make it work.
We make it work, right? Exactly.
it work.
But we also learn to have fun. Like I know
Yeah.
we go bowling or something, or
That was fun.
take a hike. And I know y'all. I don't know if you enjoyed the yoga or not, but like we do yoga here. We had. I'm gonna shout out to the Phoenix. You know, we had the Phoenix here. What, last week was it?
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
or a week before, I think.
Yeah. When Doug was here. Excuse me, Doug Levy was here and did an event with us, and you know, and it's gonna be doing that every Wellness Wednesday once a month. I think that's amazing. You know, like
It's awesome.
like yeah. So like we try to incorporate like the fun stuff too, and then you know the goofy stuff. We eat a lot together. Yeah,
Oh man.
cookies. Hashtag bring us some snickerdoodles.
Yes, please. I ate all the cookies and I'm
Did you say snickerdoodles?
yeah.
mm,
Grandma makes snickerdoodles.
Snickerdoodles are absolutely amazing.
Snickerdoodles and oatmeal raisin.
Snickerdoodles.
Snickerdoodles.
These are my two favorites.
Snickerdoodles.
My mom used to make oatmeal chocolate chip. She probably still would if I asked her. But I love those too. But oatmeal raisin's a good standard.
Yeah.
But so while you've been here, so this is now your second time. I'm sorry. You have questions? I'll let you ask questions. It's your show. I forget.
Don't say it like that. No, I guess a question that I'd have for you, Tommy, is like
Tommy.
Yeah, see, look, you
Tommy.
got me want me to Tommy.
Tammy.
It's my mother's name is Tammy.
Tammy? Oh,
Tammy and Tommy.
Tammy and Tommy.
Tammy and
Do
Tommy.
you have a daughter named Teeny? That'd
No,
make
I
it
don't.
perfect.
Or,
Dang.
well,
No, I
have a
don't.
son named Timmy?
Ooh.
I got a son named Tommy.
Oh, you do? Well, all righty then. Now, is it Tommy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Not Thomas.
Not Thomas.
Not Thomas.
We hate Thomas.
I don't know who you are, Thomas, but I will find
I don't know
you.
that guy.
Yeah, screw him.
Um,
So what was the question? I'm sorry.
no, you're all good.
Yeah.
The question I had is like, what is something you're actually, you know what? I'm gonna change the question. What are I recently just went through that PRS class, right? And so
Yeah, that's a good one.
now I'm all about like PRSing, if that makes sense. Like trying to figure out what I can do to help other people. So
Ooh.
and like how to use my recovery capital because that's a big thing. And like what are things that you think would help you out? Like what are things that we could do to help you? Like what are goals that you have? Like, what are things that you want to have soon? What are things that you want to have in the long run? Like, all sorts of questions that I have for you. Cause, like, me and you are really good friends. We've been good friends since you
Yeah.
showed up here and we talk all the time. But I don't think I've ever, like, gotten the chance to ask you questions like that. And it's like for me now, after taking this class, that's how my mind works now. It's programmed. It's like, well, what can I do to help you out? But like legitimately, what is something that I can do to like, if in the morning you're having a bad day, what's something like, you want me to come and wake you up? You want me to take you to the gym? You want to eat breakfast together? We can read the just for the day, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like, what are some things that I could do to help you out during your day? Like, you,
Okay. So I don't know if you guys know Darian's my assistant house leader, but
Woo woo.
he's a good dude. But we actually just talked about halt hungry, angry, lonely, tired.
yeah,
You know, and we were talking about how we were feeling at the moment, and one of the things that I had said was that I was lonely, man.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I just come from being locked down for 23 hours a day.
yeah,
You know, I've been by myself for months on end, just sitting doing nothing. So it's like just to sit down and have a conversation means more to me than most people would ever even imagine. You know, just being able to bond with somebody to know, like, okay, I can still, like, because I have a problem with communication a little bit,
yeah.
and I'm getting better at it. I really am. But I always like to be able to sharpen that skill because being able to talk about my problems always makes me feel better. Always. That's something that I've learned. And yeah, that alone would help. Eating together.
Hell
I
yeah, dude,
I eat,
anytime.
I've been eating by myself over the last X amount of months. Not
Oh,
since
right,
being
right, right,
here,
right, right.
but over my 9-month incarceration stay, we eat by ourselves because of COVID.
Yeah.
So it's like this.
Oh,
It's just we've
jeez,
been
yeah.
isolated a lot, and it's like it's taken a toll on me. So when I first got here and went grocery shopping, I had a hard time in the grocery store because like people getting like walking behind me, dude,
Yeah.
just weird, stupid stuff like that. So it's like I kind of had a hard time with stuff like that. So it's like being able to sit down and eat a meal with somebody, being able to sit down and talk about what may be going on with me today before I blow a gasket and go off the deep end.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That stuff helps me.
That's great. That's great to hear because, like, I love talking to you. We were roommates at one
Yeah.
point before I was the assistant house leader. Like, you were my roommate, and we would talk at night while me and Ryan were playing video games. We tried
Yeah,
to
it was
get you to
lit.
come and play with us. Um,
I had a messed up finger.
ah,
Remember? I couldn't
eh,
pull the trigger.
yeah, that's right. But like we alluding to something.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Um, no, but I
Could have worded
like
that better.
yeah, I like talking to you. I
Just let
mean,
me use this one.
I cook for the house all the time.
Yeah.
Like anytime you want to shoot, anytime you want me to cook for you, I'll cook for you and we can just go. Like we can go walk over the smoke shack with me and you and chill. We'll kick it.
I'm with it.
Like anything. Like because I'm just like now that I get the opportunity, I had a problem like when I was first here about not being used, and I know that sounds weird, but it's like I have I have to be doing something to have a sense of purpose. Like I have to be constantly engaging with someone to have a sense of purpose. I've always felt like my sense of purpose came from helping others, and so like sitting in a group and yeah, I would interact, but it felt like it just didn't hit that mark for me, if I'm making sense. But now, like, I get to lead groups and stuff like that. I get the chance to be on the podcast. I get the chance to be a peer leader and talk to you guys and, give you big hugs in the morning, ask you how you're doing and stuff like that. Like, that's my sense of purpose. That's my fulfillment. And so being able to do stuff like this, to me, it like it lets me know I'm doing the right thing. Like, I'm in the right place. Like, when I get to wake up in the morning and I see you down there making like food or coffee, and then I see you again over here, and even though I just hugged you at the house, I'm
Right.
coming back in
Coming back for another one.
for another one. Like, that gives me a sense of purpose. So what are some things that like give you a sense of purpose? Like, what makes you feel driven?
Well, as we know, I'm a father.
Yeah.
Like I said, I strive to be a better person, just not for myself, but for her too.
Okay.
I have had my ups and downs. I haven't been there a lot of the time because I have been in an active addiction. It's taken me away from that role. You know what I mean? And that's just something that I've always wanted to be because I didn't really have parents growing up. You know what I mean? So I know what it feels like to grow up without parents.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want that for my child. So that pushes me harder to be that person that I need to be for her.
Yeah.
It gives me a great feeling to know I can FaceTime her and it's all smiles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hi daddy, I love you daddy, I miss you daddy. Like that makes me feel good, and that makes me remember, man, like this is also part of the reason I'm doing it. Like I'm doing this obviously for myself first and foremost.
Yeah.
But by me helping myself is helping her. Because what good am I for her if I'm not good for myself, man?
Exactly.
So that helps drive me by far.
The recognition of stuff like that. When you hear people talk like that, Nathan, like when I hear people like recognize stuff like that, like, I hear a lot of times that people come in recovery for their parents or for their kids or for their marriage and stuff like that, but they're not doing it for them. But when they realize that when they start to do it for them, all those things fall into place, it's like crazy to me. And
Yeah.
like the recognition that he has of that, it's inspiring.
I just want to point out too, the first time that I had come through the program was kind of for probation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wanted it, but I didn't really want it at the same time. But it was mainly for probation to get them off my back and not put me in jail.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but let's not get it twisted. You gained some tools and knowledge.
Absolutely,
here,
without a doubt,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I get what you're saying and why you want to say that, but like I didn't get on a bicycle and just start riding that bicycle like a champ, like a
Right,
champ.
of course not.
I'm not riding like a champ now, but I can get there.
No,
I
here
can
we
get
go.
I can get from here to the house, without falling on my ass.
Yeah.
And now I can change gears and click a little bell. I mean, if I had a bicycle. Anybody want to buy me a bike? I need a new bicycle. And so I have to give myself credit for getting back up and getting on that bicycle and trying again.
Yeah.
And I was 23 when I learned. No, I'm just kidding. I was a kid when I learned how to ride a bicycle. I don't even remember. Do you remember
Riding a bicycle?
learning how to?
No, I
Yeah,
can't
I don't
say that. I
either.
can't
Do you
say that I do. That's not a specific memory that I
Isn't that
have.
funny. I don't. Do you remember learning how to ride a bicycle?
I do.
Yeah. Did you get up? Did you get on the bicycle and just go?
No.
Did you have training wheels?
I had training wheels for a little bit.
Yeah. Good. Do you remember? I'm going to ask you next, Justin.
I absolutely remember learning how to ride a bicycle. My dad actually took me
Pushed him down.
to.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The face he just gave.
I'm going to drink my coffee and shut up now.
This is a positive, loving memory, and you ruined it.
Soiled it.
No, I had a crippling fear of riding a bike on two wheels. I wanted to keep my training wheels on.
Yeah.
So my dad said, "All right, we're gonna take the training wheels off, but I'll hold the seat for you, and that way it'll keep you balanced." So I thought, we took off, and I thought that he was still holding the seat. He was not holding the seat, and I was just riding the bike. And I turned around and I saw him just standing there and I was like, "Oh shit!" Wham! And then immediately crashed.
Yeah.
But I rode the bike for like a solid I don't know, like I'd say a solid 20, 25 feet before I turned around and realized that he wasn't actually holding on to the seat. And yeah, that's when I had developed most of my childhood trauma.
Right then when he fell off the bike.
Right then
Instant
when I
trust
fell off the
issues.
bike.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was like
He's like, I can't do it. No trust.
all the trust issues, all the everything.
Oh boy. I thought this was a happy memory I ruined.
Well,
Turns out it was already ruined.
it was already ruined.
You know, the only reason I remember riding a bike is my dad had a condo in South Carolina that right in front of it was a Krispy Kreme. And every morning he would let me ride my bike to Krispy Kreme and get donuts. That's the only reason I had training wheels. That's the only reason I remember that is because I remember like leaving the front gate and going down to Krispy Kreme with him and riding my bike and getting donuts and then riding back.
You know, they some people think that sugar is the first drug
I believe it.
that we get addicted to. Yeah.
I believe it. I mean, I still drink energy drinks to this day.
Yeah.
Haven't done a drug in 4.5 months, but I'm still on sugar.
I used the sugar-free ones.
I ate 3 cupcakes this morning for breakfast, Nathan.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
What else? What else have you eaten today?
Today, I had a protein, 2 protein packs.
Wait,
Like, you
wait,
know,
what
like
now?
the P3s.
yeah.
You ever had one of those?
It's like nuts, cheese, and meat.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
right,
what
okay, yeah,
actual
yeah.
food have you eaten today?
Nuts, cheese, and
Nuts, cheese, and fruit. 3 cupcakes.
Have you had a sandwich at all?
No, I was gonna make one right before I
Piece
came
of
over.
pizza? A burger?
no.
No.
I was gonna make one before I came over here. Is not. I had a sandwich today.
Right.
I
It is-
had some loose
It is.
turkey.
I had a thought, and I didn't go through with that thought. But I'm gonna sit here and
So
tell you
you've
that.
had cupcakes
Yeah.
and bird food.
Yeah.
I had loose turkey too, like not on a sandwich,
had
like
loose-
just you know straight out the package.
What did you have today to eat?
I've so far this morning I had some oatmeal, and then with lunch I had 2 granola bars and I had a tuna fish sandwich. I eat healthy, man.
Okay.
That's some healthy. Do you
That's,
smoke?
That's a good lunch, actually.
I'm
Cigarette.
gonna invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Oh shit.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I
you
smoke.
know what? You see that window right there? I'll be looking out the window in a few minutes when you walk out of the building. All right?
Yeah,
I'll
I
be-
do. I smoke.
It was crazy. I had so I had a virtual doctor's appointment yesterday.
Oh yeah. I meant to ask you
And,
about that.
like, I guess they changed over their whole system and everything.
Mm.
So they had to re-enter all of my information in, which didn't take that long. But a couple of the questions they asked me that were really, really freaking cool to answer were, of course, do you drink alcohol? You know, how many alcoholic beverages do you drink a week? I said 0. They said, do you partake in any kind of recreational drugs? And I said no. And they said, okay,
Caffeine.
well, caffeine, nicotine, sugar, you know, oxygen, you know, existence.
That's the big one.
Yeah, that's the big one
I
right
get
there.
high on life.
But they also said, okay, so one thing we do have you listed as a chronic pack-a-day smoker. And I was able to say,
Nope.
I quit about 2 months ago, and I wasn't lying. It
Mm.
was fantastic. That made me really happy. I did tell him I vaped because, you know,
Yeah.
I wanted to be honest with him and everything. And I heard the disappointment in her voice. She was like, "Oh, you quit smoking, but you still vape." And I was like, "It's better because it's not cigarettes and tar but it's still
Freezing your lungs.
bad." Yeah, it wasn't the best experience in the world, but the cool part was saying that I was able to that I had quit cigarettes.
Yeah, like that's a big achievement,
a
dude.
pack a day of Reds. That's
Yeah.
That
yeah,
just made my body shiver.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
like I was punching myself in my lungs on a daily
I'm getting
basis.
a headache. Literally, I got a headache as soon as you said pack a day of Reds. I got a headache.
Yeah.
Speaking of a pack a day of red, now my buddy Tommy over there.
Yeah, but he's from Maine. They don't have smoking doesn't affect people in Maine. Did you know that?
I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little known fact that
That's weird because I couldn't breathe when I started smoking.
and now you can breathe.
A lot better than what I was.
Smoking
You
cured
know?
your lack of breathing.
No,
bro.
it was killing me. It was, but I'm used to it now. So
Now he goes. I need to catch my breath.
right, let me light up a cigarette.
oof. But one thing at a time.
Yeah,
One thing at a
we'll
time.
quit
Yeah.
Yeah.
eventually.
I started smoking again when I got here.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't smoked in years. here and there a little bit, but I hadn't smoked like seriously in years until I got here, and I picked it back up for a little while, and I quit almost about 2 years ago now. I mean, I my last actual cigarette was in October, the beginning of October, like the one-offs here and there. And I haven't had one since then. But I quit back like February of last year, of 2020.
Right.
It's been almost 2 years. Wow. Yeah.
I quit like
And I got fat. I blew up. But I'm slowly getting rid of that. But I just blew up, and then I traveled around the country and whatever. But yeah.
you work out hard though. Like
I do. Well, look, I love swimming. I don't do it necessarily to lose weight. I've been eating better a lot too.
I
and
saw you
you
with that
try to
big
be
thing of it was like this big thing of yogurt. Like
Well, yeah, but it wasn't the whole thing was yogurt. It was just I had the last of it in there with some granola and some honey, and I love that kind of. I mean, that's tasty for me. So yeah, I'm more mindful. You know, my father had his first heart attack at 50, and I'm 45. Gonna be 46 in 5 months. So it's been on my mind. You know, it's been on my mind. You know, I have things that I'd like to be around for. You know, over the next several years, and you know, one of those things is well, in addition to being around, I'd like to be healthier and able to just like walk around and participate, not just be a vegetable, you know. So that's for me.
Mm.
Yeah, but this isn't my show. This is all about Tommy.
all about
Tommy. You know, I see a
You'll get it one day.
You know,
Maybe not actually.
maybe not. You know,
Which it's surprising. He's from Jersey originally.
yeah, that's a totally different thing.
Yeah,
Totally,
but like
yeah, way different.
you should be able to get it a little
And
better
I'm-
than I can.
Well, but I'm also from South Jersey, which is completely different from North Jersey. You know, mine is more Philly, but actually it's probably more Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah, but Tommy, so now you're here, and how long have you been here this time?
I've been here since the 20th of January.
About
So
2
2
weeks.
weeks today. I
Oh,
think.
that's it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I thought it was longer than that.
Yeah,
Okay,
he can get his gym pass today. We about
We
to start
already
working
were
out.
about
yeah.
to go work
Yeah.
out. Look
Yep.
at that, making some progress there. What you told me beforehand is actually what I should have said when I introduced you was to welcome you back to the show, because you've been on Getting the Herd
Yes.
with Alex Bond. Shout out Alex
That's my
Bond.
man right
That's
there.
my man. Have
Yeah,
you talked
that's
to
my
him since you
dude.
got back?
I haven't. I've been trying. I asked Mo if he had his information. He's like, yeah, well, he's still around here every now and again, or something along them lines.
Oh,
And I kind of just.
but he's on
okay.
Facebook.
Yeah.
He does travel a bunch. And he sometimes goes. Well, anyway, yeah, we'll see if we can connect you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Alex was here then, and when he left, we were talking about colleagues who leave, and it sucks, right? Earlier we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Alex was one of those people. Like I mourned. I didn't realize it, but I went into mourning after he left. And at the time, it was, my office is across the hall here. Alex was across at the end of the hall because he was the med guy at that time. And what was that?
Not me.
It sounded like
Is there a window open? It could have been the dump truck.
There's all kinds of random noises. It probably is the trash truck, but that high pitch. What is that? That's funny. Anyway, Alex was here, and it was just the two of us on this floor for the longest time, which was amazing because Alex and I got along great, you know, and we would play games together. He would come in, and we would do Jeopardy on my little, what do you call my little Alexa thing, my Echo Dot.
That's a computer.
Yeah. Well, it's not a computer. It is a computer, but I mean, it's a little tower thing with a speaker and a blah blah blah. It's an Echo Dot or Amazon Alexa Echo. I don't even know what to call the damn thing. The thing that I talk at and talks
It's
back
not
to
a computer.
me. Yeah, it's not a computer.
It's not a computer.
Yeah, computer. Tommy. Computer.
Tommy.
I have no idea what the hell I was going with that.
Me neither.
What I want to know from you, Tommy, is now that you are back and you've been back for a few weeks now, what is changing? Like I think you were asking, what is different, and what do you want? You asked, what more can we do? I want to ask, what are we doing that's helping you right now? Because I see you engaged. So
Yeah, well, that's what you guys are doing. You guys are teaching me. You guys just are involved with. I mean, the facilitators are involved with the groups, of course, but it's like you guys don't make it boring. I mean, we get bored, obviously,
Sure.
but like you guys actually, like, we do group activities that help us maintain engagement. You
Mhm.
know, so it keeps our interest peaked, dude, and it helps us learn. I'm all about learning. If I can learn something new every day, that's what I'm trying to do. You know, so that helps a lot. You know, you guys are always, anytime I want to come through and chat with any of you guys, your door's always open. You know what I mean? Like I said, communication's huge for me, specifically me. So that helps too. You know, you guys are here, and that's what counts. And I appreciate it.
So real talk, okay?
Mhm.
You live in our housing. You
I
live in
live in-
step-up housing
I
too.
live in step-up housing,
Yeah.
yes.
And you've got a house leader and an assistant house leader.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. How is your assistant house leader? Is he any good?
Yo, he's the man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides the little trick he played on me yesterday, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
a little.
I got him with a good one.
That was
yesterday.
dirty. That was
It was.
dirty.
It was
Would you
kind of
like
messed
shove
up.
a cupcake in his face?
No,
I want cupcakes now.
I told him, I was like, "Yo, Tommy, I need you to come here for a minute." He's like, "Why? What's up?" And I was like,
oh no.
"You had an anomaly on your drug test. I need you to take another drug test." And he was like, "No, no
Again?
way. Come on again." And I was like, "Yeah, I need you to come
Because it happened
inside."
to me once already. My first week here, I took a drug test, and then it came back as like I was positive for alcohol. So I was mad.
Didn't I
was
give
mad
you that
about it.
drug test?
Oh yeah, actually, you did give me that drug test, and I was mad about it because something
Yeah.
as simple as that. Bye bye. I don't. This is my second chance, man. You know what I mean? I don't get another one after this, and something as simple as a false positive. Even though I know it would have went to the lab and you know all of that, I understand that. But like it's just I've been sober I've been clean for 9 months. You know what I mean? So I know that I wasn't drinking. I know that I haven't been using. So I shouldn't have stressed about it as much as I did. But it was still something that made me mad.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we all got it figured out. You know, it was
Well,
negative.
You've got a lot riding on. We haven't gone
Yeah.
into that, and this may not be the venue to go directly into everything that you've got going on. I don't want to put your business all out there, and you have a lot riding.
Yes.
And many of us, and that's what I like about this place a lot. I've learned. I came here. I tell my story all the time, but I was mandated here by the courts, and I was on probation, and so they reported my drug test to probation,
Right.
and it kind of sucked, but it is what it is. Yeah, but at the same time, I needed that level of accountability,
Absolutely.
which was important. And I've gone through. I've finished my probation successfully. I've stayed clean and sober, or in recovery, without the need to. I'm not going to worry about language right now. I just clean and sober. Since then,
Sustained recovery. That's you taught me
sustained
that.
recovery. Yeah. Well, the thing about that is not everybody. This is total aside here, but not everybody associates recovery with abstinence.
Yeah.
So abstinence-based recovery. Right. I guess I could say that, but I'm not going to worry about language. I'm clean and sober, because that's what I am. And we can language it out when I'm talking to General Assembly, but. God damn! I lost my damn train of thought.
I'm sorry.
No. It's not your fault. I'm a squirrel chasing MOF person, mother effer. And anyway, no. What I love about this place is that because so many of us have those legal consequences over our heads, it's not like I'm coming in here and looked at as a pariah. It's like this, like my boss has been in similar shoes. In fact, really, deep in it, and with a lot deeper than I had, issue wise, and the people around me, like, have that lived experience, and they've all, not only have they gotten through it and gone to the other side, but they've gotten through it to the other side, and then they're now, yes, they're working here, but they're, regardless of whether they're working here or not, because I know plenty of people who aren't working here, are now contributing members of society, doing. In the language of NA, acceptable, responsible, productive members of this society, which I think is amazing.
It is amazing, actually. It's very amazing.
Yeah, because
I love it.
Yeah.
Can we take Tommy to an outside meeting? That one we went
Right-
to the
right
other
now?
day? Not right now, but
Right this minute.
I mean, I would love to. I need to go to a meeting.
You can take Tommy anywhere. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't have a car.
Oh.
There is high noon every day.
That's not an outside meeting.
Oh, you said an outside meeting. I thought you
Yeah,
said
yeah.
I need to go to a meeting.
I mean, yeah, that too.
Never
I
mind
mean,
everything I just said then.
Yeah, just forget it all.
Just
I
all
have
of
been
it.
going to meetings again though.
Yeah.
I reconnected with my sponsor.
Yeah, we can get on that for sure.
Yeah.
You haven't been anywhere outside?
No.
Well,
Not
now,
since I've been here.
I know that your house leader goes to outside meetings, huh?
I don't know. He's never. He's
He-
all over
he's
the
gone.
place. He's all over the place.
Who's your house leader?
Dude.
John.
John Pizzle.
Yeah.
That's what we call him.
Pizzle.
Yeah,
Pizzle.
like extra salt on his frizzle.
I don't know about any of that.
I'm gonna plead old on that one.
I wanted to see what face you'd make when
But
I
I
said
know
that.
your house leader goes to outside meetings, and I know one of the challenges for me in recovery is finding ways to connect with people I wouldn't necessarily think I would normally connect with. And I know your story, and I know John P's story, and I'm like, I wouldn't say, there's a guy I'm going to hang out with.
Right.
The two of you.
Right.
And yet I know that the both of you I'm assuming you do. I know he does. Identifies as a person in recovery
Absolutely.
who's seeking, help for this disease, and I believe you are too. So the commonalities are there.
Yeah.
That's what's beautiful about this recovery community thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
what-
awesome.
And learning how to use the resources at hand. So my recommendation to you is suggestion to you, if you whatever is, find out if he's going to a meeting outside somewhere and see if you can tag along. You may regret it, and that's fine, but it's an hour and a
It'll
half
be a
out of
lesson
your life.
learned.
Yeah, but you may not. I mean, John
Yeah.
P's a wealth of information.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy. He's just older and kind of a teacher, but he's also he's a very different person than he was when he walked in this door.
Extremely
Just as
different.
I am a very different person from when I walked in the door. Just as Justin is a very different person. Just as Darian is, and you're experiencing that as well. So
You could hide in the back of his truck and just when he shows up to a meeting, jump out and scare the ever-loving crap out of him.
surprise.
Were you back there the whole time?
I saw it.
I saw, dude.
I saw it.
I bet he would appreciate it. I bet he would.
Scaring the shit out of him?
No,
Yeah,
not
sure.
that. I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
going with the movie. And the reason I say that is like we have to. Well, I had to become comfortable asking people I didn't know or think I had anything in common with for help with things
I struggle with
in
that.
my daily life.
I struggle with that, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Is it because of pride or because of you just
A little bit like
Say
it's a little bit of pride, and then like a little bit of I just want to be like, yo, I can do this myself. I don't.
so pride?
So I mean, yeah. I guess it's mainly pride. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's one of my problems too. I don't like especially when it comes to rides. Like I could not stand asking people for rides. And then I think about the flip side. I'm like, if I'm in a position where I can give somebody a ride though, I'm going to give them a ride.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a two-way street, like I've stopped worrying about, like, I've stopped letting my pride get in the way of things like that, like asking for rides and stuff like that, because I know I'm going to reciprocate it at some point in the future, even like I've already paid it forward,
You
like,
gave me a lot of rides when I first got here.
did I?
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense.
Well, no, that's no joking. I mean,
no,
seriously, I didn't have a car, a driver's license. Yeah.
When I was this last time, well, let's see, when I was house leader, actually both times, that was kind of one of the things that I assumed was part of my role as house leader, which it technically it isn't.
No,
but also
is.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
Because like you want people to get to where they have to go, and you want people to be able to get their shit taken care of, and if somebody doesn't get up to the church to take their drug test, it's falls back on you, and like you have to get people around. So like normally speaking, yeah, you're going to give people rides where they have to go. So yeah, I don't have a problem. I mean, shoot, when I didn't have my truck, I mean, and thank you, Teresa, for that help. But when I didn't have my truck, like I asked John P for a ride literally every day, for home, and it's only like a 10-15 minute drive, but like we would pull up, and he just kind of looked at me. He was like, "All right, see," and I was like, "Do you have Cash App? Do you have like Venmo?" And he was like, "I'm old. No, I don't even know what that is."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Okay, that's fair." And he was like, "This is my Cash App," and holds out his hand. And I was like, "All right, well, I don't have any cash." He was like, "You don't owe me any money." He was like, "Get out of the truck and go upstairs and go home." And I was like, all right, cool. And I was like, I tell you what, I'll take you out to lunch one day. And he was like, all right, fine, whatever. We're good. Like, it wasn't even a big deal. Like, I was thinking about it and making it more of a big
Sure.
deal in my head than
Right.
it actually was, you know? But if you think about it, like, if somebody asked you for a ride and you were in a position to give them one, would you give them one?
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely, you would. And
Yeah.
you wouldn't expect any gas money or any
Nothing.
favors back. You would just do it out of the kindness of your heart, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. And it's the same thing with anybody else here that you ask for a ride. If they can do it and it doesn't make them go too far out of their way and it's not like a 30, 45-minute drive, they're going to do it.
Well, yeah, and if he's going somewhere for a meeting anyway,
Right.
you know, it's not only as an opportunity to bond with him, which believe it or not, you know, all of us need to feel that sense of connection and purpose, you know, and I'll speak on my experience. I won't speak on his, but I'll tell you as a 45-year-old man, and I will often identify out from younger people and say, well, I can't, what do I have to share? You know, and yet, you know, I find that there's way more in common than there is, you know, separate. I just know better music.
Oh, man.
But
Music that's so hard it makes you break your windshield.
oh my God, that's right. That is facts, by the way. Yeah, I broke my windshield playing music. But you know, and then you know, if he's going to a meeting anyway, it's an opportunity to bond, and it's an opportunity to get out to experience other meetings here in Richmond, because there's great meetings here at Hatcher. I get that, and Richmond is thriving in recovery. You know,
Yeah.
if you want to see other things, get out and see other things, and start meeting some other people who might have the next piece for you. You know, the next piece for you might be the sponsor, or you know, the person who's looking. I don't know if you're looking for work or not, but it might be the person who's looking for somebody to do. What do you do for work? What's your
I mainly
thing?
worked in restaurants.
Okay.
You know, that's what I've done most of my life. But I got a little bit of roofing experience, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I could lay a roof, but I can certainly help strip one.
He's good at destroying shit, is what I'm hearing from that. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome
Yeah.
to the addict world, right?
Well, because that's, you know, ultimately that's what I need in recovery. I need connections, and it's tough for me to ask for help. You've made some really, really strong asks, you know, simply by getting here in the first place.
Yeah.
Not once, but now twice, and that's really amazing. You you fell off the bike when you first got on it.
Yeah.
You know, and okay, and maybe your heart wasn't in 100% at the first time. I don't know about you, but you know, it's scary to do new things.
Yeah, it's
And
terrifying.
it's terrifying. Yeah, and for me, you know, the new thing isn't necessarily recovery. It's stripping away the piece of me, you know, that other person of me who was my protector in a way. You know, the drugs and the alcohol were the protection from feeling the feelings that I had, which I didn't know how to cope with. You know, and that's scary, because then suddenly, you know, I take that away and I still have the feelings, you know, and I've just ripped that band-aid off. I have these feelings and I'm alone, and I you know, there's a couple different ways I could go, and you know, we talk about that in here all the time, and you know, it's great when recovery starts to happen and we start to find that sense of purpose and we start to learn how to ask for help in a meaningful way. It's like, you know, not being all, I don't even see this in you. You know, some people instinctively know how to ask for help, and will do it for everything. Everything is a need,
Right.
you know, and every want is a need, is what I mean by that. And that becomes, well, wait a second, you know, you're just taking advantage of a situation. But that's a learned response too. Like, we have these learned responses in using. You know, I was probably one of those people too. But anyway, you know, these are things that we can work on, and you know, I like that for you. You know, so what are the challenges? What are the challenges for you beyond? I know you got court stuff, and we can talk about it. We got like 4 minutes left, but beyond that, beyond the court stuff, like, what are the challenges for Tommy to figure out who Tommy is, and to become the Tommy that Tommy's starting to see inside himself. The Tommy that was telling Darian and me in my office, you know, who he wants to be. What are the challenges that you're facing, and what are the tools that you're gaining, and what do you think you still need to gain?
We'll start with what I still need to gain.
Okay.
What I still need to gain is kind of control over the way I handle certain situations. You know,
Okay.
because sometimes I do it toxically, I guess you would say.
Toxically. I
um,
like that. I like that. I can identify with that.
I'm quick to flip the switch.
Okay.
It's been something that I've always done.
What does flip the switch mean to you? What does that look like?
I mean, like, we're having a conversation, one sentence is said, and next thing you know, we're yelling and screaming, and we're ready.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's just something that I've always done throughout my whole life. So it's hard to just be like snap and it's fixed.
Yeah.
You know? So I work on it a little bit each day. I was mad as hell earlier, but I didn't flip out. You know what I mean? But I kind of dwell on things. That's another problem that I have is when something that I don't like happens, I'm just in my head for the rest of the day, you know, and that's a terrible place for me personally to be. You know, nobody wants to be left alone with their thoughts anyway, or the bad ones anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's another challenge that I have to kind of overcome. And the person I'm trying to be is, like I said, man, I was talking earlier, like, I know everybody says this, I'd like to help people
Sure.
and, you know, like, but like, I actually like the General Assembly thing.
Yeah.
That is something that I could see myself doing, you know, going to fight for, you know, a bill to pass for something that's going to help people that are in similar situations as myself.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm a pretty smart fella, not to toot my own horn or anything, but it's like I feel like if I got my shit together and, you know, actually dedicated myself to one certain thing, like, I could help many people, and that would make me feel better about myself. And
Sure.
you know,
It does all go back to I need to learn how to, for me at least, I need to learn how to help myself before I can try to help other people.
absolutely. You know, good for you, you know, for
Well,
someone else if you know good for yourself.
Yeah, and it gets dangerous for me if I'm constantly working to help other people at the detriment of my own um well-being,
Yeah.
you know,
You
spiritual
come
and mental.
first.
Yeah.
You come first.
We know a lot of people. Maine has a really thriving recovery advocacy group up there, which, you know, in the future you may or may not. I don't know what your plans are as far as going back there.
None.
Okay.
For now.
Okay.
For now.
But well, but even if you don't do that, you know, there's a real thriving community up there, who I talk to on a regular basis. Who we connect and do, you know, things that we think about. You know, oh, Maine's doing this. How did you do that? You know, it's and other communities around the country, but Maine happens to be one of the more thriving ones, with the project that I work on. So that's cool. You know, and I hear the accent more often. Plus, we get a lot of Mainers here too,
Yeah.
through Operation Hope. Um,
Which is great, by the way. Great program.
yeah, absolutely.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
That was the first time that I came down here was through Operation Hope, dude, and I thanked them greatly for it because who knows, within, you know, if they hadn't sent me down here within those 28 days I was here, I could have died at some point.
Yeah.
You know, so I appreciate that. Officer Boulay, I believe is his name.
There are some good people in uniforms. You know, I struggled with that early on in recovery because I grew up, well, because of things, but because of things. I'm so eloquent with my speaking.
Because of reasons.
Because business. You know, I grew up in a family of people who wore uniforms, so I grew up trusting uniforms, and I, you know, I do now as well. And you know, there were things that happened to me in my active addiction, and it's like, well, wait a second, you're not helping me, you know, and I'm farther and farther removed from from what happened to me that I'm able to I'm better see my part in things. I'm not always completely, you know, objective, and I have a network of people around me. You know, I have a sponsor, and I have people who have lived experience, who have way more time than I do, who can see things differently than I do, and say, "Yeah, and what was your part in that?" You know, and you know, having that perspective, right? You know, being able to see where are the gaps, you know, as far as what happened in my own personal story, and how are those gaps, you know, similar to gaps for other people who have the same story. I mean, a lot of the same story, and so that literally, now that I see where gaps are, like, oh, well, how can we fill this gap? What can we do to put this in this place here and this place here? And I get to do that on a daily basis, and that's really freaking amazing. And that's what learning about my story gives me. And I am so encouraged, and we do need to close up, but I'm so encouraged by what you were saying about how you spent the last 9 months in jail, you know, and the deep reading and the fighting that you're doing, and you got a lot you've got some really profound challenges to overcome right away.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you're here, because like I think I'll say this all the time. It's like we don't have the answers for you, all the time. But at least I'm not like nobody's gonna sit here and look at you and say you're a piece of shit, And if they do, you can come talk to me,
Got you.
And because I won't tell you you're a piece of shit. You come talk to me or tell them to come talk to me, because I mean that's not who you are. And so much of what you're going through is a direct result of the substance use of the substance use disorder,
It's one of
the
the
addiction.
only reasons.
And so much of that comes from all the other stuff that happened to lead to that point in your life. And it's like, well, wait a second, what are we doing? What are we doing to help this guy become, the better version of himself that we need? Is it really helpful to put this guy in jail? Is it really helpful, to do any of that? And so you give me a lot of thought. I don't know anything about federal stuff, but you give me a lot of thought on that, and I appreciate the way you advocated to me when we were talking earlier, and to Darian, because you've given me things to think about, and in a very eloquent and meaningful way. And then when I asked questions, you answered in a way that I understood, because this is big giant things for me too. So appreciate that.
Yeah.
I like that. You are a smart guy. I've rambled on long enough, and this was your show. I'm sorry.
You're all good.
Darian. Well, actually, why don't you take? I'll tell you what. Justin, and then Justin, me, and then you, and then because it's usually the host last, and then no, you, and then you. I don't know. What am I doing?
I don't know what you're doing.
What am I doing?
Are we
idea
saying
what's going on.
goodbye?
You're
Or what are we
rambling.
doing?
Well, yeah. So Justin, any last words? I'll just shut up and do this.
Nope. Goodbye.
Nope. Goodbye. All right.
Goodbye.
Any last words?
I mean, thank y'all for having me on the podcast again. It was cool. It's been fun. I appreciate it.
Welcome back. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you can close us out.
I think the last words that I have are, I think I could talk for another 30 minutes, so that's what I'm going to do. No,
well, no, bye.
no, bye. I just want to say
Scene.
bye. No, Tommy, thank you for being a great dude. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to you. And Nathan, thank you for this opportunity. And Justin, also thank you. And I love the both of y'all. I love all three of y'all. Goodbye.
Wait, the both of y'all. Bye.